Hey folks, welcome back to another Opponent Mass video, and today let's talk a bit about Oleana Garbodor, which is dropping later tonight, which as usual, hopefully should be summoning for live when that happens, so make sure you are subscribed and have notifications on to tune into that. And let's talk a bit about this unit. So this is a pretty interesting unit, honestly. It's very different from a lot of units that we generally see, right? So yeah, it is a Poke Fair. Right, let's just quick basic rundown of the kit. In terms of stat-wise, it doesn't have any outstanding stat. The speed's not that great. It's not much of a defensive unit, right? The attack and special attack aren't anything crazy either. They're all pretty low. So overall, just no really good stats to really, mention of. But it does have some nice moves. First of all, it does have Gunk Shot, which is a 4-gauge move. Also 30% chance of poisoning the opponent. It is 80 accuracy, but it is 232 power at 505, right? Got move gauge boost as well, Venom Drench, and Please Leave, the trainer move. Reduces sync move countdown by 1, raises user attack by 4, and accuracy by 2, and crit by 3. So that's really nice. Only one use though, but that's plus 4 attack, plus 3, crit, plus 2 accuracy, right? So you don't have to worry about the Gunk Shock missing in most cases. And then, minus 1 sync move countdown as well. And then the sync nuke, over here, it is a tech unit, right? So it's based on how many, stats the opponent have lowered. So that's relatively easy with Venom Drench, on top of having her other skill, which is it just makes it so that, Venom Drench lowers the opponent's stats by 3 times. So basically minus attack, special attack, speed by 3 every time you use Venom Drench. Which is cool, because 2 Venom Drenches and the opponent is basically at -6 of all those, assuming they don't, buff those back up. And then on top of that, you have max move hit team poison rebuff gives AoE poison rebuff on the opponents after using a max move, right? And then ally poisons badly poisons, except in certain circumstances. When an ally leaves an opponent poisoned, it leaves a badly poisoned instead. So it makes all the poisons on your team badly poisoned. So that's really, really nice if you're running, other poison units that don't badly poison. Like a Fall Iris, right, for example. So yeah, she's got a lot of really, really nice things in her base kit, despite not having really, really good stats. So in terms of how many copies you want to really go for, so at 105, you do get the base kit just in terms of just debuffing wise, right? You get a lot of the debuffing stuff. You could do some damage with Gunk Shot, I suppose. You do get the max moves, poison rebuff. By the way, you have max moves as well, right? GMax Garbodor, right? Leaves all opposing sync per poison. In this case, should be badly poisoned, right? With the passive, and they also have 1 max guard. But yeah, you basically have most of the main part of the kit, right? You're missing like some of the DPS stuff, right? And some more, I guess, techie, supporty things that it does. So yeah, at 2 out of 5, you get staggering on Gunk Shock, which is nice. 20% chance of flinching the opponent, which is cool, right? So you got poison flinch, so this is like an upgraded Plumeria in that sense, although much better. Post haste, plus 2 speed every time you get hit by an attack move. Again, she's not really going to be tanking, so you just have to hope the opponent like AoEs her for that. Move gauge refresh on Gunk Shock 4, so Gunk Shock. I don't know why I keep on saying that. But yeah, you do have 2 move gauge refreshes, one at 1 out of 5, the other at 2 out of 5, so that's nice. You also get Toxic Power 2 and Berlin Toxin 2, which gives you an extra 20% on badly poisoned opponents on your regular moves and sync, right? Opponent Toxin 2, take more damage. This is kind of not that useful. Hidden Heal, Natural Remedy. So yeah, 2 out of 5, I'd say like the staggering one is nice. The move gauge refresh on Gunk Shock nice. The extra little bit of power here is nice. Everything else is it kind of depends, right? And then 3 out of 5, you have your extra Toxic Power 3, Virulent Toxin 5, right? You have Power Play here as well, right? That helps with your nuke. Ramming Speed, a Pep Rally on your move gauge boost, which is really, really nice, right? So you're not only getting move gauge out of that, you're also giving your team speed. So that's very, very much appreciated, I think. You have your GMax Garbodor, Power Boost, plus 100, right? So yeah, max guard, team, max shielding strikes, whatever, right? So Berserker on trainer move, so she doesn't need any support to buff out her physical attack. I'd say her 3 out of 5 is definitely worth considering, just because you get a lot of stuff, right? You got the sync nuke and DPS stuff, but also stuff like this pep rally, right, which would help her unfortunate speed situation, right? So yeah, there's some stuff there. As for 4 out of 5, Ruthless Toxin 9 on Gunk Shot, guaranteed chance of lowering 2 of these random stats. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Yeah, you don't debuff defense or special defense with Venom Drench or whatever, but like you do debuff like 3 of the opponent's stats to -4 in 2 moves. Like, yeah, what if like you spent half the Gunk Shocks just rolling attack, special attack, or speed when they're already like, you know, -6 from Venom Drench, right? So I don't think this is that big of a deal, honestly. This debuffs the opponent's defenses by 2 after you use a max move. This is, it's nice, but again, I don't feel like it's a massive deal either. Venom Drench 2 for 9. It's free move next after using Venom Drench. Venom Drench is not that big of an issue. It's more so Gunk Shot, because Gunk Shot's a 4-gauge move. Venom Drench is a 2-gauge move, and usually when you're using the Venom Drench, most time I feel like the opponents are still, or not the opponent, but your team is still like in the process of buffing and all that setting up, so I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. Soften up, I mean, it's nice, but again, I don't feel like her 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5s are really worth going for. To me, that 3 out of 5 just does have a lot of really nice stuff, right? So, okay. Let's get into some grid, lucky skill, team comps, and stuff. For lucky skill, if you want her to do more damage, I guess just your usual, you know, super power 3, crit strike 2, right? Otherwise, maybe speedy entry 2 or move gauge refresh could be helpful. If you want like defense crush, I guess, right? Or what was the other one? A fast track. I guess those are all decent options. Head start, because she does also have the sync move countdown -1. Would also be a solid option, I guess, right? So stuff like that, I feel like generally is relatively nice. Or if you're not going for that Berserker 2 and you don't want like a Spore, you could get +2 attack on entry. That's also another option. As for the grid, so starting out at 1 out of 5, do we really even have to go over the 1 out of 5? Like, it's always just pretty, you know what, let's just skip it 1 out of 5. Pick up everything you can, alright? So, 2 out of 5. Definitely want staggering. Definitely want the move gauge fresh on Gunk Shock. Might as well pick up the toxic power. If you're syncing with her, then Virulent Toxin. If you're not, then no. You go for the head and heal and Potent Toxin, I guess, just because again there's not like too much else to really go for. If it is a stage that does do, you know, AoEs, and you maybe go for post haste instead. Again, Potent Toxin is not that big of a deal, so I wouldn't lose too much sleep over dropping that. So you could do something like this. 3 out of 5, again, it depends on what her role is, because she could have a lot of different roles, right? She could definitely have a lot of different roles. If you are syncing with her, right, you definitely want power play, you want the sync move power up, you want the Virulent Toxin thing. You probably would want, you know, the extra one over here as well, right? Just a lot of, like, sync nuke stuff all around. If you want, you could pick up the extra GMax Malador. Otherwise, like maybe Toxic Power 3 or Ramming Speed if you could get speed from elsewhere from your team. Toxic Power 3 is just more reliable, right? Because you're gonna poison the opponent anyways. Or staggering on Gunk Shock if you are fighting something like a Legendary Arena. In that case, you could probably just also pick up Toxic Power 2 here as well. So yeah, if you're nuking, most likely, I wouldn't really recommend just going full on just sync nuke damage. Like, it's good, or her damage is good on the sync. I just don't think it's like that good of an idea to just go all in on that, because you do have to kind of balance it. Like, if your gauges are fine, then okay, right? But I feel like most time, you do want to make sure your gauges are good, right? So I'd recommend something like, you know, Pep Rally on the move gauge for boost. You could also pick up Ramming Speed while you're at it over there. You still want Power Play because it's Power Play, right? You could get Staggering over there, so you do something like this, right? Damn, you're 1 short from picking up GMax Malador, unfortunately. So yeah, you can pick up the other sync move power up node, maybe attack. I don't think there's any speed, right? Yeah, there's no speed, unfortunate. So you can do something like that. Right, I feel like it's a bit more balanced. But again, if you do want something balanced that, you know, where speed doesn't really matter that much, you could also just go over here, the toxic power stuff, and then again just pick the rest, right? So okay, That's I guess 3 out of 5. 4 out of 5, 5 5. You could pick this stuff up. Again, I don't really recommend it too much, right? So I won't talk about it a lot. I guess Soften Up is just really, pick that up if you're going for like a nuke grid for it, right? So as for team comps, I'd say this is probably the best you could run with her, right? Or at least, one of the better ones. You have Silver Ho there. It's not Silver Ho, Mordian Ho, Shiny Ho, for the gauges, all that stuff, to max out the extra stats that you need as well. Oleana could do the damage, all that stuff, right? You can nuke if you need the tech nuke, and then you have Emma here just to do a lot of the DPS. Again, it is relatively gauge heavy, right? Because of all that, so be careful, I guess, right? But if you don't have Head Start on your Emma, you do have the advantage of having Head Start 2 with that sync move countdown on her trainer move, which is really, really nice, right? To shave off a turn over there. As for some other poison options, I guess you could also go for go with Giovanni here as well, with the poison jab sort of build. Again, it's just gonna be slow, right? It's gonna be slow. That's gonna be an issue, right? Otherwise, you could go with, if you have Fall Iris, you could do that as well. You have the poison zone there. Again, the support, there's just a lot of options, right? Again, Morty would be my pick just because of the gauges. If you're going like these two, but like, yeah, that's sort of the issue, right? Like, a lot of these big poison damage healers are gauge heavy, right? Emma's gauge heavy, although Emma's relatively fast, right? So it's not that big of a deal for Emma, I guess. You could get away with not running as good of a speed support, but stuff like Fall Iris, right? Stuff like Singsu Giovanni, you would definitely have to run better gauge support, right? As for like the other poison units, you could run them with her. I don't really see any like big upside though. Like, a lot of them are just not that good, unfortunately. I guess Looker, maybe? Yeah, not really, but yeah, options are relatively limited. So just good luck. You could always go for that SE Steven, right? Just to have her, one woman DPS army over here. So for some of the pros and cons of this unit, first of all, really good poison nuke, poison DPS, and got that poison type max move as well. I mean, in terms of like poison type units, right? I know it's a very, very, very low bar, but she's above the top, right? Her, she does have the strongest poison nuke, which is pretty nice, right? On top of that, her poison type max move is also not bad, right? Not as good as like Singsu Giovanni's, but it's not bad, right? And then also, you do have pretty good poison type DPS over here, right? Which makes it very much worth considering, I'd say, right? And again, poison type DPS generally tougher to come across really, really good ones. I mean, look at that. Like, you got Emma 1.7 million, Oleana 1.6 million, and then like kind of falls off of a cliff after they're like, you only had like 3 breaking 1 mil on Runner's Dog. Like, everyone like Iris, Looker out, like these are all like under 1 mil, unfortunately. So yeah, really, really good herself though. So yeah, you also have the AoE Badly Poison and Flinch from her max move. The Flinch is not AoE, but you have the chance to flinch. So, and she's a very, very, very fast debuffer. So that's definitely really, really nice as well. As for the cons, I guess it's just gauges. You could maybe also argue needs a bit of help in terms of maxing out her multipliers and stuff, especially like if you're picking up stuff like ramming speed, I guess. Right? But usually you solve that with solving the gauges part, so it's not that big of a deal, I feel. And also the extra +2 physical attack needed, so yeah, there's that, I guess. So overall, I don't know. I like this unit. It just does so many really, really great things, right? On top of being a really good poison type damage dealer, which again, hard to come by. Right? So all things considered, I'd probably give it like an 8.2 out of 10. Like, if you were asking me to go for like one poison type damage unit, to pull for in the game, I'd consider Emma as well, but I'd probably go with Oleana. She's just really, really, really nice. But again, just do keep in mind, anniversary's coming up soon, There's also still part 2 of the Galar Villain arc, which, you know, we'll know what the part 2 of the Galar Villain arc stuff is before these banners go away, so you could always at least wait for that. I'm not sure about the anniversary, though. I'm pretty sure we'll lose these banners before we get info on the anniversary units. But again, it's the anniversary units. Most of the time, they would be good, right? At least so far, 2 out of the 3 times they've been around, they've been really good, right? Yeah, second Annie. Wow, how the second Annie units really fell off a cliff, man. I mean, they can't really fall off a cliff if they were like never like that good to begin with, I guess. So, but anyways, yeah. that's me. This one, I guess. Hope you all gentlemen guys think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy the videos from our channel for some more Pokemon Magic content, guys. In the next one, then.